beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jennifer Diamond and I live a whole food, plant exclusive, SOFAs free, gluten-free lifestyle for health and well-being. SOFAs is salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar free. Yep, I don't ingest any of that on purpose. Anyways, today I thought I wanted to bring you up to date and let's experiment more with the lentil pancakes. So I recently made some lentil pancakes, and if you missed that video, please check it out. I'll link it above. And it stuck a little bit. It was really good, but I had some issues with the pan, and oh, this one did okay. There we go. And our last one over here in the corner. So if you have a pan that you think would help me out, and I have a new idea, so I thought I would bring you along. Let's try it again. So, like on the first video, I have some red lentils here, and I soaked them. You need to soak them about 12 hours. And I've also heard 30 minutes if it's with hot water. What did I do? 24 hours, and they're still holding up. So I think as long as you soak them for at least 12 hours, you're good. And if you're in a hurry, use hot water, try the 30 minutes, let me know how that works. All right, so I am using a NutriBullet, and I am gonna grab a spatula and load it in here and blend it up with a little bit of water, okay? So let's see if I can do this without spilling. And dry, trying to remember, dry, I think this was 1.5 cups of lentils. And so I don't know if it expands to make more volume if I were to measure it again. So, wow, there's a lot. It's really filling this thing. If it gets too full, I might have to move over to the Vitamix and, or, you know, whatever high-powered blender you use. But, well, I think we're still good. Look at this, yay. Okay. And I'm going to take 2 cups of water. I might even go 1.5 cups. Let's see. Well, that's 1 cup and it looks pretty full. Let's just do a little bit more. Let's do, that's 1.25 cups. Let's try that. I don't want to blend too much, I don't want to blend too much water in it because I don't want it to be too like liquidy. I want it to be like pancake batter. So I'm going to use the NutriBullet. Let me plug it in and let's give it a spin. Done. One and done. And you know what? I'm glad I didn't add all the water because it looks kind of liquidy right here. All right, so now, that's what else I wanted to do. Okay, so you could do it this way and you're ready to go. But I was thinking, what if I smash a banana into it? Just give it a little extra flavor. So you know what? I think I could do it by hand, but since we're still here, I'm gonna throw it in the NutriBullet and add a banana, but you don't have to. You could just do what I just did and just put the banana on top or, you know, make it more savory. These are gonna be a little sweeter because I've got the fruit. And I'm curious about how this might taste. So here I go. Lentils and bananas. I think it's gonna be great. All right, that's it for real. And so the next thing I'm gonna do is move the water out of the way and pull up a piece of parchment paper. I think that I wanna try to take, let's see, this is like 1/2 sheet. I save everything, I can reuse it. These are pre-cut baking sheets. I usually like the roll, but they were out. So that's why I have this, because I probably needed a smaller piece. Anyways, get your parchment paper. And I'm just gonna measure it. I think I'm also gonna cut off the extra piece and use it like I showed you with another piece that I had. You just use it for another time. Would I use this little tiny strip? I will. Sometimes I take a bunch of little strips and line them up next to each other when I'm putting something on a cookie sheet or a small little baking sheet in the Breville, and it works. So I'll fix that later. All right, I am thinking that we are gonna use this Pyrex dish. I'm seeing if it has a measurement on it, and it says 10 inches. So I think a lot of people have a standard between 8.5, sometimes 9, sometimes 10. It doesn't really matter. I am not using any oil. I don't use any butter, nothing that is going to keep this from not sticking, which is why I'm using the parchment paper. The parchment paper is what is going to allow me to really pull this out of the pan when it's done. So I'm literally just gonna pour this in the pan and throw it in the oven. Da-da! And we are gonna make a pancake. I love that, okay? Now I hope it works out. Okay. It fit perfectly. I mean, this is just working out, isn't it? Ah! I love that. Love that, love that, love that. The stars are aligned for me and you if you try this. Okay, so that looks good. Now, I'm just gonna kind of bend this down. You could cut it off if you want these edges. That's it, look at that. Pancake. I am gonna throw this, I'm gonna cut these off because that's the kind of person I am. I just wanna do that. Have it nice and clean, and anyways. I preheated the oven. I would say, depending on the type of oven you have, you know, my oven runs kind of, it doesn't get as hot as I wish it would, even though the temperature thing says that it is hotter, it usually is not as hot. So I would go 375 to 400, depending on your oven, because you don't want to burn it. And I'm just gonna stick this in there and check it probably around the 15-minute mark. You could check it at 10 minutes. I'm just gonna let it cook till it's cooked. Isn't this fun? Pancake. Ah! Okay, here we go. In the oven, we'll be back. Now while I have that in there, I just wanna say, you could make this in so many ways. You could do a savory with some rosemary, onions and garlic. I mean, sky's the limit, because like regular pancake mix, there isn't really much of a flavor. And with lentils, it's like just such a plain base that you have to work with, to start with, that you can bring it in all different kind of directions. So we'll be back to check on this. Oh, wow. Wow. Look at that. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna try a new toothpick. Just go right in. Oh, so you could see the crust is kind of bouncing as it's made like a crust, you know, top. I think that looks pretty good. A little tiny bit of something on it, but I'm gonna say this is cooked. Oh my goodness, that is beautiful, isn't it? And so this particular one, we put the banana in. So I was gonna pair it up with some fruit, and you could, if you didn't put the banana in it, well, I haven't tasted it yet, but you know, I'm thinking if you just did it with just the lentils or any savory type things, you could place this alongside of a beautiful salad of any sort, or basically anything, a potato, or, I mean, I think sky is pretty much the limit with this one. So I want to kind of play around with this. It's super hot, and so I don't want to touch the pan. I'm going to move this for a moment. So I am going to try to just literally, look at that. I could pick it up and put it aside for a minute. And then I can take this hot, hot pan. I was gonna put it here, but I think I'm just gonna put it behind us to cool off. Wow, look at this. This is great. Beautiful. And so if you just, I'm putting a little bit of pressure along the back side right above where it seems to be a little bit stuck to see if I can gently kind of roll it down just so that it doesn't break, but you could always just cut it directly on here. And it's probably best to let it cool somewhat. I am not letting it cool because I want to show you. There we go. Boy, this is coming down. Oh, isn't this beautiful? Yay! I love it. Can't wait to see how it tastes. So this could be stored for the week. This could be my batch cook for breakfast all week or however long it lasts, or if I'm sharing it, it'll last a few days, I would think. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, like batch cooking pancakes, this is our pancake and it's our lentil, and so we could just, I'm just thinking of slicing it just like a cake or a pie, and so I can have slices to last me all through the year. It seems to be a little bit too hot right now, so unfortunately I think it's gonna make me wait. So let's just give it a little bit of like maybe 5 minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and wash some fruit while we're waiting. I've got some strawberries here that we can put on, and I have some blackberries, all organic, and a little bit left of the blueberries, and we'll plate it. Just give it a few minutes to get cool. We'll be right back. Okay, it really hasn't been that long, and it's still quite warm, but I just can't wait. So let's try to cut into this together and take a taste. So I'm gonna move it off of the cooling rack. Isn't that amazing what you can do with parchment paper? It's like a little handle, so to speak. All right, so you can cut it directly here. I was trying to see if there's a way to take it off the parchment paper, but I think I'm just gonna cut it and not cut all the way through the paper. And so here we go. Let's see how this works. Oh, wow. So it's got kind of a spongy feel to it. And remember, it's still warm. And I'm trying not to cut into the paper. Wow, wow, wow. Let me grab a little spatula thingy. I love this little guy. And I'm just gonna see if I can get right under there. Always the first piece is the hardest piece to get out when you have cakes and pies, isn't it? Even when you have lentil pancakes. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's see if I could get it. Yes. Wow, look at that. Look at that. That's incredible. And I already have a plate with some berries that I went ahead and washed and sliced. I'm gonna go ahead and put this right on there. If you watch my other video, I did a compost with berries. You could certainly do that. But for today, we're gonna just eat it how it is. Okay. Oh, see, the heat really made it like it's still warm. So let's do it. And you could eat it just like this, which is what I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of maple syrup. You could use date syrup. You could use compost of the fruit, which is basically just taking it and cooking it on the stove. And you can reference that in my other video, or you could just have a plain taste. Here I go. Ready? I don't really taste, I was gonna say I don't really taste the banana, but it's very faint. So with it or without it, I think you don't really taste, I didn't really taste it that much. Let me try another little bite. So the center is very creamy, and that's probably because It's thicker. You know, when you think of a pancake, it's really thin. But this being thicker, I mean, I guess you could cook it a little bit more. I'm fine with it the way it is. I like it. No stick. So let me just go ahead for fun and drizzle a little maple syrup. You know, this can be a breakfast, but this can be a dessert too, you know, with all of these fruits and little drizzle of maple syrup. Look at that. So good. All right. So this time I'm going to have it with some fruit. Oh, I really like it. Yeah. Pancakes is where it's at. I hope you try this recipe and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, eat your greens. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.